Throughout its 50-year history, European integration has made great progress. Its achievements are remarkable, and the EPP-ED group has always been on the front line, pushing for better, closer cooperation to reach our common goals. However, work still needs to be done in a number of areas. One of the issues we want to address is the issue of illegal immigration. I'm here standing in front of the Halfar camp for illegal immigrants. They've come here from many different countries. Some have fled hunger and want, others have run from civil wars and regional conflicts, and others simply dream of a better future. They've all come here, however, illegally. And the European Union can best deal with this issue by developing a joint immigration policy. Because this isn't just a Maltese problem. This is a problem faced by many other member states. And it's a problem that the Union as a whole has to deal with.
I believe that maybe the European Union can help a bit more. Maybe there should be more enforcement and more of this control, because at the end of the day, if it's a problem of Malta, it's a problem of Europe.
We also require assistance with returns. About 25% of the residents of this centre and of most of the other centres are rejected asylum seekers. However, it is very difficult for us to return them to their country of origin.
The EPP family believes that a common European approach to immigration must be one of its strategic priorities. Europe can no longer afford to have 27 national immigration policies. A common policy of immigration must be shaped. It will have to differentiate between action against clandestine immigration, for which the EU must be strict, and legal immigration policy, for which the EU must show solidarity. Today, terrorism represents the principal threat against our society and our values. It is vital to intensify political collaboration between European and Muslim states, and to reorganize and reformulate the European institutions in charge of security. The most urgent issue for the EPP-ED group is to mark out a political role for our European institutions, however limited it might be, recognizable and comprehensible to Europeans who regard this as a common menace to all EU citizens.
I think if the countries cooperate and kind of join together to get rid of the drug problem altogether, sort out these ganglands, and so they can't stop arrests in different countries. And
the EPP also wishes to protect the public effectively from organised crime. It is necessary to envisage joint action in order to prevent and combat crime and criminal organisations.
Europe is considered one of the major players in the world, and more should be done to protect our children and our children's children in this society.
The EPP-ED group believes that a coherent energy policy in Europe and combating climate change are two sides of the same coin. In order to achieve sustainable development, the EU energy policy must be based on security of supply to face possible shortage crises. To fight climate change, the EPP-ED group favours a diverse energy mix, advocating the use of low CO2 emission sources.
For us, the consumer is important. We produce everything according to their needs in terms of quality and their health protection. We have introduced all the EU regulations to ensure food safety for the consumer.
For our group, European agriculture needs to focus on developing independent and healthy nutrition for Europeans.
Economic prosperity and sustainable development have been possible in many member states thanks to the Union's policies, which the EPP-ED group has constantly promoted. Here in the west of Ireland, businesses are flourishing despite its remoteness from the capital. EU funds for regional development have inspired business initiatives, and a knowledge-based economy has led to an economic boom. A small but international airport has linked the region to Europe and to the rest of the world. Business and technology parks, industrial estates, and small and medium-sized businesses have sprung up throughout the region.
The region's development is explained by the successful use of the Union's funds that have created the appropriate infrastructures. There are also other factors which have contributed.
This country in the last 50 years has put a lot of money into education. And so the region, through its third level colleges, is able to supply, and has been for the past 15 years, able to supply a very high level of technological expertise to firms.
With the influx of European development funds, the product development here has expanded enormously in the west of Ireland. And you can see that today with the number of hotels, leisure centres, things to do and activities in the west of Ireland.
I think if you just look at Ireland today and the growth and the prosperity of Ireland, and Europe has played a huge role in that. Prior to that, Ireland was very narrow.
Contribution to education has been hugely successful. I mean, the exchange of particularly Erasmus.
The EPP-ED group considers internal cohesion to be fundamental to the European Union, and that it should continue to earmark adequate budgetary resources for policies designed to achieve this. The EU cohesion policy should firmly resist any future attempts at renationalisation. A single market, innovative, growing, open and efficient, must be the response to the pressures of globalisation. The best way to work for social cohesion is to promote job creation. Only a climate of economic growth, underpinned by a high level of business confidence, can encourage companies to create employment. We want to achieve an efficient and open single market, promoting a dynamic and innovative knowledge-based European society. We need to dovetail education, research and business, paying particular attention to the digital economy. These are the priorities of the EPP-ED group.
The European Central Bank has to be completely independent of politicians, but, and it's a crucial distinction, there is a difference between ignoring politicians and not following the instructions of politicians, and listening at the same time. They must listen to what's going on in the real world. They must listen to business people in Europe, they must listen to consumers.
The stability of the euro, the independence of the European Central Bank and healthy public finance will result in an increase in the standard of living and the improvement of social cohesion. The European Union has a duty to defend the values of the social model. Many reforms are required to face the demographic and globalization challenges, and the defense of the European social model is of paramount importance for our political family.
This was a special programme on the EPP-ED group's priorities. To see a full version of the Decalogue document, log on to our website www.epp-ed.eu.